Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is a quote that's kind of making its rounds with the media here lately after the Big Orange Caravan. Josh Heupel said we are going to play elite level defense at Tennessee. This is not the first time he said that. He's mentioned it before. That's the expectation. That's the standard that Josh Heupel is presenting at Tennessee. I love it. I'm here for it. We as fans sometimes say, hey, with this Josh Heupel offense, we just need a defense that's decent, that's efficient. We don't need an elite level defense. Josh Heupel is not going to stand for it. You look at 2022, the improvement that this football team made on defense. And some people don't want to admit it. Some people don't want to talk about it. They want to pick and choose a select few games instead of looking at the overall body of work. Tennessee defensively gave up 22.8 points per game. That's good for 36th nationally as a defense. Look, we know this offense. We know what it's going to be. It's proven. It worked. It worked when Josh Heupel was at Missouri. It worked when Josh Heupel was at Central Florida, and now it is working in the SEC. Tennessee led the country in scoring offense, quarterback efficiency, yards per game. We get it. We know what they're going to do. They're going to go out. They're going to spread you wide. They're going to go quick. They're going to go up tempo, and they're going to be explosive. What can they be defensively? We're going to get into it, take a look at it. We're going to look at the quote from Josh Heupel, and then I also want to jump over to On3's YouTube channel. Jesse Simonton had some comments on this quote that I want to get into. Some of you VAWLquesters know him as the Gator Dog. I actually like Jesse Simonton. I think he does a good job. I think he made some points that I agree with, some points that I disagree with, but we're going to break it down and get into it. As always, guys, you know what to do. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. That is quick, free, and easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to give a little bit more, there's also a button that says thanks down below. You can make a donation. It's basically like a super chat on a video. I would greatly appreciate it. If not, that's fine. But if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. One quick reminder, again, the NCAA stream typically Monday nights at 6:30. We're going to slide that to Tuesday at 6:30. Different day, same time. Come hang out. We'll play some NCAA and talk some Tennessee football. Let's jump into it. Let's take a look at this article from 247 Sports. Heupel says we're going to play elite defense at Tennessee. Again, the Big Orange Caravan making the rounds. Josh Heupel in Kingsport, Tennessee at the Meadowview Convention Center. Here's the quote. He says, we're going to play elite defense, not just good defense, but elite defense at Tennessee. Goes on to say Tennessee showed progress on defense last season, allowing just 22.8 points per game, more than 6 points below its average of 29.1 in 2021. The Vols ranked second in the SEC in takeaways and run defense last year, while noticeably improving their third down efficiency. And I think that's something, we're just going to start with that. That's something we have to look at as a fan base. Look, we know Josh Heupel's offense is going to go fast. So what does that mean? Well, the other team is going to get more opportunities. They're probably going to gain more yards. So you can pick and choose. You can cherry pick stats and say, well, Tennessee gave up X number of yards per game. They gave up this. They gave up that. I don't care. What it boils down to, how many points per game has this team given up? I like the turnovers, the aggressiveness. That's what we were sold on when Tim Banks came in as the defensive coordinator. They're going to play loose, fast, and aggressive. They're going to force turnovers. They are going to create chaos. That was what we were sold. Seeing the improvement there in turnovers and in points per game. Again, I don't care. If Tennessee's going to go out and score 50, you can score 35. It does not matter. I just want to see a slow progression, some improvement. And, you know, when we look at recruiting, the class of 2023, obviously headlined by five-star quarterback Nico Iamaleava. On3.com had him as the best player in the country. We forget about David Hobbs, also a five-star prospect, defensive lineman. According to On3.com, had him as a five-star. Caleb Herring, four-star edge rusher. Arian Carter, a guy that's got a ton of buzz coming off of spring camp. They added some elite-level defensive backs in Jordan Matthews, Ricky Gibson. We did a film breakdown on those guys along with Christian Conyer. If you missed it, go back and check it out. Tennessee has added some key pieces, but it is still rebuilding. You go back to when Josh Heupel took over, all the guys that transferred out. Tennessee is adding those key pieces back in place. Will they be elite in 2023? I don't know. That's the expectation from Josh Heupel, but I think we are continuing to build. But let's jump over. Let's take a look again on 3.com. They had Jesse Simonton on, made some good points about Tennessee and can they have an elite level defense. Let's take a listen. We're going to make some comments here as we go through this.
color me skeptical that Tennessee's going to play elite defense in 2023 or any season with Josh Heupel as head coach. And there's a multitude of factors there, but namely being it's very hard to play elite defense opposite of Heupel's go-go offense.
A great point.
And again, right there out of the gate, I kind of agree with Jesse Simonton. I don't know that this roster, that this football team is ready to play elite level defense in 2023. There are some factors to that. We'll get into those in just a moment. But I disagree with him that they'll never be able to play elite level defense. And again, it's all terminology. What do you expect? What is an elite level defense? Do you have to go out and only give up 14 points per game? Or can you go out and score 50 and give up 21 and consider that an elite level defense? It's not 1972 anymore. It's a different game. It's a different era. What is an elite level defense? But again, I disagree. I think they can eventually play elite. Are they ready in 2023? You guys hit the comment section and let me know. Let's hear some more.
So if the Volunteers are going to play let's not go with the word elite. If they're going to play better defense in 2023, what unit on that side of the ball needs to make the biggest jump from last year to this year?
It's got to be the secondary, Josh. I mean, this is a defense that in year 2 under coordinator Tim Banks did make some real strides. They were terrible in year 1 on third down, terrible in terms of scoring, terrible in the red zone. All 3 of those metrics improved dramatically. And yet they were still overall kind of a feast or famine unit, 70th in the mid-70s in terms of defensive success rate because the secondary was a sieve. 127th in pass defense, allowed the most passing plays over 10 yards in the SEC with 151. 3 different quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson. 2 of those 3 guys weren't exactly awesome college quarterbacks last season, threw for over 450 yards. So have to shore up the secondary if they're going to be anywhere close to even good, much less elite.
So some of that's comical to me. And look, you guys know what I think about Anthony Richardson. I don't think he's an elite level quarterback, but you want to rattle off 3 quarterbacks that threw for over 400 yards against Tennessee. 2 of those 3 were taken in the top 4 picks of the 2023 NFL draft. But, you know, what Jesse Simonton is saying there is 100% dead on. 127th, I think he said, in passing defense. That's not going to cut it. You're not an elite level defense, regardless of going quick and Josh Heupel's offense. You are not an elite level defense if you're 126th in passing defense. That has to improve. That has to come along. But again, you look at some of the guys that they added in the transfer portal. What do you get from some of the younger guys that are now upperclassmen? Danico Slaughter, Kamal Hadden, a couple of guys that we saw shine at times, but can they put it all together? Can they be consistent? Kamal Hadden, at one point, we're thinking this guy's going to take over at corner, and then in the next moment, he's getting torched at South Carolina and acting a fool. Can he put it all together and be consistent? I think that's the word for guys like Danico Slaughter and Kamal Hadden. Can they be consistent? Also, you've got the transfer corner, Gabe Jeudy-Lally. I'm expecting a lot of good things from him. I think we are going to see him potentially push for one of those starting jobs in the secondary. You've got Jalen McCullough returning at safety. Also, you've got Wesley Walker, transferred in from Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. He is now an upperclassman. Can he take over? Is he an improvement over Tank McCullough? What does the star position look like? They've rotated a ton of guys there. What about Brandon Turnage? I keep waiting to hear about him. I keep waiting to see him come along. But again, agree with Jesse Simonton. You cannot be an elite level defense when you're 127th or whatever the number was that he threw out there in passing defense. Let's hear a little bit more from Jesse Simonton on this defense. Guys, make sure you do hit the comment section, smash the thumbs up, all that fun stuff. Let's talk some Tennessee football. This video is going a little bit longer than normal, but I thought there were some great points, so let's hear some more from Jesse Simonton.
Here's the question. Do they need to be elite on defense to win the SEC, or can they get it done with a good defense?
No, they definitely don't have to be elite to win the SEC. I think they just need to be good. You know, this is one of those classic situations where don't confuse or let elite or greatness, you know, be the enemy of good. This is an offense that is going to always score points. Josh Heupel has lit up the scoreboard, whether he was the offensive coordinator at Missouri, head coach at Central Florida, and then now the head coach at Tennessee. His scheme is designed to light it up. They're going to average 40 some odd points a game, regardless of who is at quarterback. And yet, if you're letting the opponent basically match you firework for firework, you're never going to be able to actually be a championship contender. But if you can kind of just be good, if you can make that passing defense from 127th in the country to the 60s, I think Tennessee absolutely could push, for another 10, 11 win season. And then even if they don't win the SEC or even make the SEC championship game because they're still staring up at Georgia, they absolutely could be a college football playoff contender in the 14 league one more season, or definitely when the playoff expands to 12 in 2024.
So there's the comments from Jesse Simonton. Again, a lot of good to take away from that. I agree with what he says there with Josh Heupel's offense. Something interesting, not to switch from defense to offense, but regardless of the quarterback, a lot of these guys in the media, the experts, the insiders, they have confidence in Joe Milton or just in Josh Heupel's scheme, that it doesn't matter who is playing quarterback, they're going to have success. I think for some of us, maybe it's a little bit of battered ball syndrome. We start getting nervous about what we're going to get from Joe Milton in 2023. But jumping back over to the defensive side of the ball, when you're going firework for firework, that's the terminology he used. I like that statement, that analogy. Some of the games that we saw Tennessee actually blow out their opponent, what we saw is a couple of stops early, like an LSU or a Kentucky or, previous years against Missouri. We see them get a few stops, and Josh Heupel's offense is so deadly. It's so dangerous. You can score in a hurry. And then all of a sudden you get a couple of 3-and-outs and it's 14-0, 21-0. And now the other team is forced to go one-dimensional. And then Tim Banks can pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. And that is such a difference maker when you can do that. And I disagree. I do think Tennessee can play elite level defense, but what is elite? What is the definition? That's all personal opinion. But I'm excited about 2023. I'm excited about the future of this defense. I think we're seeing a ton of success on the recruiting trail. Dropped a video this morning about the number one player in the country, 5-star edge rusher, Dylan Stewart. Tennessee is on the outside looking in, but they're going to host him on a visit coming up Memorial Day weekend. If you missed that video, go check it out. But that's the type of talent that Rodney Garner is looking to pull in and get this defense back to the elite level. You guys hit the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Can Josh Heupel, can Tennessee, can they have an elite defense? Will they have it in 23, 24, 25? What's the expectation? As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You guys know where the merchandise is. Bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. Also, the link to all of that is in the description below. As always, I want to say a quick thank you to the members of the channel for all your support financially, giving me the opportunity to do this for a living. If you want to be a part of that, hit the join button down below. It's as little as $1 a month. You get custom Talkin' Balls emojis, access to fan call-in shows, watch parties. You get a power tee beside your name in the comments and in the chat. All kinds of fun perks and benefits, but you also just support what we are doing right here on the Talkin' Balls Network. But that's going to do it for this one. If you can't donate, if you can't give money, that's fine. We don't expect it. What we do expect you to do is smash the thumbs up, come to the comment section, and let's talk a little Tennessee football, because this is the Talkin' Balls Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.